Good evening, everyone, on this chilly Sunday evening. But I'm coming to you, talking to you about essential oils and cats, because this is actually one of the things that probably get asked of me the most. And I've done a few little videos, but I wanted to do something a little bit more in depth. And I actually just posted a cat video up today on YouTube. And sure enough, I've got some negative comments going, no, they're toxic, stop sharing this stuff. And they're actually not. So some are, but that's like everything, isn't it? And I'm going to go over a little bit more in detail about how essential oils can be beneficial for your cats, safe, and you can use them for yourself if you've got cats in the home as well. So I'm Dr. Helene. I'm an emergency medicine doctor and also an advocate for integrative wellness, as well as an animal aromatherapy specialist. And I love to use essential oils to support the health and well-being of myself and my pets. Got 6 dogs and 2 cats, and helping educate people to do the same for their family, whether that's human or animal. So if you like what you're listening to, please hit the subscribe button or follow so I can carry on creating more content. And let me know in the comments what you want to know about. Would you like to get essential oils into your life? Why not book in for a free chat with me or come to one of my classes to find out how I can use oils to support you and your pets? And if you don't know how to use them best for either your health or your pets, that's okay if you've got them, because I do general overviews as well as full consultations as well, depending on your needs. So you can check out the link going across the bottom of my screen, or if you're listening to me on my podcast, in the show notes as well. So drop me a message and we can I can help you get started, really. So as I said, this is a really common question, and they are safe to use around the home or on your cats, but there's also a no as well. And I'm going to cover a little bit more about the do's and don'ts. So I have 2 cats. I've actually shut my door because my catio is the other side there. And so usually I've got one of the cats, usually Mufasa, if you're familiar with him, my Iraqi cat, sort of jumping across here and knocking everything skew with. And I've got some notes because I wanted to make sure I don't miss anything, because this is such an important topic that people ask so often. So as I said, I've got 2 cats and I've used them very successfully with my cats over the years, and I use them daily for myself and my dogs. So my cats are always in their presence, and I've actually got diffusing now, as you can see, my diffuser here all the time. I've got a diffuser going downstairs as well. So let's get started and look at some of the things that are often quoted when we're talking about cats and essential oils. So firstly, number 1 is that they cause liver or kidney damage. Now, if you're using poor quality oils, this could well be the case, because 80% of essential oils on the market are adulterated in some way. So they have contaminants in, or fillers, they might have pesticides from how they're grown, and then essential oils are concentrated, and so your pet is going to get that because they're smaller, and that can cause them harm. Or they can be synthetic. There's a lot of oils on the market that actually aren't real. And you also see a lot of oils coming from the fragrance industry as well, where they just take off the perfume component of the oil. So I should say from the perfume industry, and their fragrance oils, because they just take off the fragrance part of the essential oil. And that's actually, it's not in balance. So it's missing some of the constituents. And they'll often say on there, not for topical use, because they don't have the same level of constituents in that creates a balance. Nature's all about balancing. But essential oils can actually be really supportive for the kidneys and the liver. But it's really important to use good quality oils, as I say. And I use doTERRA. I sell doTERRA because for me, they are one of the best, and they have a veterinary panel, which I think is the most important. And I actually learned to use essential oils from a vet. And I chose a vet to do their training courses. They were more in depth, they were more expensive, but I chose that because I wanted to make sure I had the really accurate information that I was going to sort of be imparting onto other people. Now, it is really important when you're using essential oils to work with an expert such as myself, because there is some stuff that you shouldn't use. You need to know the correct dilutions. And to be honest, every day my inbox, I get in either social media or my emails, I get contacted by people who want help with using essential oils, and they haven't bought them from me. They've bought them from someone else. They've often got kits, and they don't get the advice they need, and they're really in a bit of a quandary then. And my members all have access to all my courses, and lots of different resources, and they get a plan. So they're not wondering how to use them, and they are not wondering whether this is safe for their pet or not. So I'm just going to share you a couple of things, actually, because I've had a few people contact me over the years asking for help where they've had a pet that's got ill and the vet's decided it's essential oil toxicity, and in actual fact it's been something else. And most recent one was just, I think, last week, where the vet refused to see the animal in question and just said this is just essential oil toxicity, and they got in touch with me and I was like, no, this isn't. And in actual fact, it wasn't essential oil toxicity. It was actually something more serious. And the owner managed to find another vet who would see them. And unfortunately, the animal was very poorly and had to be put to sleep. But it was nothing to do with the essential oils. And I was involved in another one with a cat, this one I'm going to tell you about, where the cat was getting sick. And the owner had had oils for about 3 or 4 weeks. And I'd given them instructions how to use them. And the cat ended up at the vet's, and the vet said, have you used anything new around the home? And the owner said, well, yes, I've been just using essential oils. And they were like, oh, well, that's it. It's essential oil toxicity. So they did some bloods and they put the cat on fluids, and the cat went home. The cat improved, the cat went home, and then the cat got sick again and went back to the vets. And so then they got in touch with me, and I said, but you've used everything, haven't you, the correct way, the way I've been saying? And they was like, well, yeah. And I was like, well, they are going to be fine. Anyway, the cat had come home again, and I said, right, can you tell me exactly what is going on with your cat? I want to know exactly what signs you are exhibiting. And certain things that they were describing to me about the cat made me quite concerned, because I am an emergency medicine doctor and I recognized a few of the things they were describing as things I've seen in humans. So I said, right, you need to go back to the vet and they need to get a scope of their esophagus. Now, I should point out as well that the blood results the cat had were also completely normal. So there was no liver or kidney dysfunction. So they went back to the vet and said they'd spoken to an animal aromatherapy specialist and they had recommended having a scope of the esophagus. The vet duly carried this scope out, and the esophagus was actually riddled with cancer. And this is why the cat couldn't eat or drink at home, was because of these cancerous lesions in their esophagus. So it was nothing to do with oils. They'd only actually had oils for a couple of weeks. If anyone was thinking, oh, the essential oils did this. No, they didn't. It was because of the cancer that the cat wasn't eating. So that is why the cat was well at the vets, because they were on fluid, and then they came home and they couldn't drink. And the diagnosis was therefore delayed because the vet went down on this sort of little spiral, total red herring, nothing to do with essential oils. So, having someone who is an expert that can actually help you with things like this is really, really crucial. So let's get on to something else. Myth 2 is that citrus oils are toxic to cats. So this is, again, a bit of a fallacy. There's actually been no cases where this has been found. Now, there has been reports about D-limonene, which is a constituent that you will see in citrus oils. It's actually got it's at its highest level in wild orange. But it isn't true that it's toxic to cats. It's toxic to cat fleas. Now, there has been, I think, a study that was done on, I think it was cats actually, where they actually found some irritation to the skin from the D-limonene, but it was the constituent on its own, not from the essential oil. And so, as I already said, this is often a problem when you isolate a constituent, because nature's all about balance. And when you start throwing things out of whack, it causes problems. So it was nothing to do with an essential oil. It was a constituent of it. And it was the constituent that had actually been produced synthetically. So it wasn't even the proper constituent either. So citrus oils are fine. They're actually something I diffuse the most around my house, to be honest. Myth number 3, avoid peppermint. Now, the truth is that peppermint can be irritating to cats. Just like us, it can make your eyes water, But some cats might not like it. Now, I tend to use peppermint quite a lot to cool me down, and my cats will come in and sort of rub themselves up against me. And it's not a problem. It is safe. So you can use it around the home. So you shouldn't worry about it causing problems with your cats if they sniff it. It's fine. Now, a lot of peppermint oil, about 3/4 of peppermint oil is actually not peppermint. It's actually corn mint. So again, that's where you get the problems. So just be mindful of that. So myth number 4, pine oils. So this comes up a lot, saying it's they're toxic. Now, alpha pinene, which is a constituent in approximately 400 essential oils, is also an ingredient in popular cleaning solutions, those that have the, that fragrance of pine. So there has been reports of toxicity with those products, but it was synthetic product, not the actual essential oil. And there's actually been no reports of pine oil toxicity for cats. Okay. So again, I'm actually diffusing Shinrin Yoku, which has got pine oils in. So number 5, lavender oil can't be used, and there's no truth in that at all. And given the high prevalence of actually lavender products, you would expect to see quite a lot of issues if this was the case at all. Now, spike lavender has the potential to be dangerous, but we're actually talking about lavender angustifolia, and that is a wonderful oil to use. Now, there are different ones. And some essential oils on the market are actually not lavender, they're actually lavandin. So just again, you need to know what it is you're using. So there were articles related to the use of linalool being a problem, but it was the same as for D-limonene. It was actually relating to the constituent, but not the actual essential oils. And the constituents are very concentrated and not in the percentages that they would be in the actual essential oil. So, again, you haven't got that balance. So myth 6 is never pet your cat after using essential oils. And again, that is not true. It's actually a really great way to use oils. Get oils on them. And, even if you're using something less dilute on yourself and your pet, and then you pet them, that you've already put the oils on yourself and they get absorbed. They're volatile organic compounds, so they get they evaporate very quickly as well. They are going to be absorbed into your skin quickly, so you're actually not going to be transferring much onto your pet. What you do need to be mindful of with cats is that anything you diffuse will land on them and they will ingest it because they groom all the time. So you do need to take that into consideration when you're diffusing oils, for example. So in this room, I will, I've got a window that's always open here because the catio, so it gets a bit cold. I'll typically only have 3 drops in that diffuser because I know my cats are in here and they're getting the oils. Whereas in the bigger room downstairs, where they don't tend to hang out there, I will put maybe 6 drops in the diffuser, and the dogs are in there as well. So, for example, you can diffuse eucalyptus. Okay, we know that the eucalyptus plant is actually toxic to cats. So if they ingest it, but the oil is fine, you would just use a less dilution and have it very dilute. But they certainly can benefit from eucalyptus oil. So you want to avoid oils such as tea tree, wintergreen, birch, nutmeg, and use caution with hot oils such as cinnamon and clove. Now, I do use cinnamon and clove in a dilution, and I've used that very, very effectively to support one of my cats, my Holly cat, when she had a respiratory problem. But you just need to use a bit of caution because they're hot, they can be irritants, so you would dilute them more. The key is to dilute well. Okay, so for cats, I use a 0.5% dilution, which is roughly 1 drop in 10 mils of a carrier oil, like fractionated coconut oil. So I use essential oils every day for myself, my dogs, my cats, and they all reap the benefits. And I've used essential oils for my elderly cat, Pads, who's now departed, when he was suffering with constipation, and all to soothe him in his last days as well. Also, as I said about my Holly cat when she had a respiratory problem, and I also used the oil laurel leaf because she was actually struggling with eating because I think she was quite congested. So I actually put her bowl of food next to a lava rock diffuser, and you would literally see her go and smell the laurel leaf and then go and eat, smell the laurel leaf and then go and eat. And it reminded me sometimes of when I used to see kids in peds who are so congested and they don't want to feed because it shuts off their breathing. So when you put some saline nasal drops in them, they're then able to open their airways and they'll then feed off mum. So they really can be so useful. When my new cat Mufasa came, I actually sent a blanket out with our scent on, but also one of my favorite blends, which is Balance Blend, on the blanket as well. Sent it out to Iraq and he traveled back with it. So then it had all the dog's odors, it had Balance on there, and it had his odors. I then put that blanket with Holly Cat and the dogs and was diffusing balance around the house. So he had the scent of the pets. He also had the calming, soothing aroma of balance, and my pets all like balance as well. So it just really was great for creating more balance in the house for the new arrival, and it was absolutely perfect. Now, I actually use another blend called On Guard and the Cleaner Concentrate to choose all their litter trays and the catio and mop my floor. I use my lemon oil in my bathroom, on my surfaces, and in my kitchen as well. And the cats love rolling around on my bed with its fragrance of Serenity Blend or lavender. And, pretty much the only reason Mufasa or Holly is not in here is because I've shut them out, because I wanted to be able to concentrate on what I was telling you so I didn't forget anything. So essential oils really do have a myriad of benefits. Now, if you're interested in learning more, do check out the link going across the bottom of the screen or in the show notes. I've got a lot of different replays. I've also got a cat kit that I put together with some great oils that you can use around the home and on your cat as well. Now, with that kit, you get full instructions how to use them. You get all my membership benefits as well, and you'll get a bespoke plan as well. So if you have specific concerns for your cat, you'll get the guidance about how to use that. But you get access to my members benefits as well, which includes my essential oils for pets course, which has a module on cats as well as other animals. As well as my weekly Q&A and all my human courses as well. So I provide a lot of support, because I don't want you just getting oils that you don't know how to use. I don't want you getting oils that you're too frightened to use. And I want to get oils that actually you're going to get benefit from, and you're going to be able to get benefit from for your cat as well. If you've got any questions, just get in touch. Let me know what you want to learn about. And don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button. And so I can carry on creating more content. And if you would give me a 5-star review, I would be very grateful for that as well. Meanwhile, I will sign off and I will see you soon. Take care, stay safe, stay well. Bye.